I did that on purpose, man. Can I dance? Is the Pope a Catholic?
Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye.
Is you
I'm
color?
about to rumble in the jungle in these new Kanyes. Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. My lawyer threw them gloves on and beat another case. Fuck y'all mad at me, folks. My belt got 2 G's on it, her bag got 2 C's on it. My daughter's stroller got D's on it. Whoa. Free Big Meech, free Boosie, and see murder. Like New Orleans, like Baltimore, come to Compton, you'll see murders. And my ARC murders, that's beef, nigga, no burgers. I'm insane and you sane, nigga, better turn on them burners. Got dope swimming in that glass jar, bitch, go turn on them burners. Got dope to sell in this hotel, no half price, no retail. You a Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. Thank God that nigga seen another day. Ale Boombaye. Ale Boombaye, got a chopper and a bottle, fucking let him spray.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the coolest show on the internet, Large Lads, with me, your host, Sam Sheether, Little Max, and Big Clong, our certified editor at times. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Whoa, inverted episode. Matt Winning's awesome.
No, oh God, we're back. We're already back to it.
Yeah, you guys got topics for this episode?
I think
Kirsten
we should do a training recap first.
Kirsten's been big on having us try to include the training recaps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried it's sometimes dry, but we'll give it a go. You're the you're the editor. You're the CEO.
Speed run,
Speed
training
run.
recap.
All right, brother, go.
W. Awesome week for me.
A little bit more than that.
a
a little more.
I am 5 weeks out right now from the War on 1K. I need to do another video before the series is just over. I had 3 singles, and all 3 of them moved good. So just going to keep that rolling. I'm less sick than I normally am, which I think is from being in better shape than I normally.
Keeping the cardio higher.
Yeah, my cardio slips a little bit towards the end of my blocks, and I've been trying to fight that more than I have in the past. I think that's led my recovery to still be better.
I've also really come around to the idea of like a big old vitamin C intake. Because I was telling Adam was like, man, this is the second block in the row. I get to peaking phase and I get sick. And I was like, yeah, and everybody's like, oh, what terrible luck. Well, it's not exactly terrible luck. It's exactly when you would get sick. When you're the most fatigued is when you are the most susceptible.
Yeah,
and
your
so I was
immune
like,
system is suppressed.
at this point, this isn't bad luck. This is data,
Yeah.
right? And kind of bro science-y, but like I do believe in like if you have a zinc supplement every night and also take that vitamin C up pretty high, I believe from whole food sources. That's my preference. If you're trying to gain weight, orange juice, but if you're trying to not, like for just fruit. I've been having good luck. I don't know. I'm no scientist, but I've been having good luck with my my lifters with the ramping up the vitamin C intake a bit, with being able to make it through those end stages of prep, and then also just keeping the aerobic base a little bit better through those later parts of training to try to avoid the inevitable, oh, what the fuck? I was in such good shape 3 weeks out and then I got sick.
Kirsten, quick recap. Go.
Let's go.
My biceps finally coming up.
Hell
I've
yeah,
been
let's go.
Hitting them hard. I have been hesitant to take a pump photo yet because the lighting is so bad at the gym. I always look worse in the photo than I do to myself in the mirror. And I'm like, end of workout, I'm like, that was sick. I feel huge. I go to take a picture and then I look small in the picture and I'm like, that just like took all of the wind out of my sails.
Our gym does have shockingly bad lighting. Like, it's such a good gym, but it's definitely not like, cause it's like the lights are 40 feet off the ground, and it's like very, very like
you can
flat
like
lighting.
find places where you can like look in the mirror and you're like, this is okay lighting, but the picture, bad.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting till my biceps are like even bigger, then I'll take a picture
Let's go.
and then I'll be pleased.
That's a part of lifting that you and I were never big on just because we got straight into pure strength training, pure powerlifting. Kirsten very much likes working a muscle and then repeatedly checking to make sure it's working and be like, yeah, this tricep exercise is working. Look at that. Look at that fucking mirror.
I super distinctly remember the first time I took a photo of my tricep because I could see that there was like a muscle there, and I thought that was like super cool. I was at our grandma's house, and in the bathroom mirror was like, like 13, like, yeah.
The Idaho one?
No. The
other one.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say the Idaho one. Idaho grandma's old house had good lighting. Fun fact.
No.
Let's see what happened in my week of training. Week before was really exciting. This week was more of a down week to follow the heavy single on squat and heavy jerk PR. So just a bunch of volume, bunch of bodybuilding stuff. Sick week of training.
Chasing down the 7-plate dip.
Chasing down the 7-plate dip. Probably overtrained yesterday like an idiot. I was like, I felt really good at the end of the work. I was like, I'm gonna do 4 more exercises.
That's so fucking amazing.
I was having a good time, dude.
That's great.
I was having a great time. Everything's going up. My logbook's going great. Dips are coming along fast. I had to feel because that's a good point. Last week was my first week back into the weighted dips. I love them. They feel great. Cool movement, but I'm like being careful because this is exactly when I would hurt myself. Is haven't trained my pecs very much in the whole overhead press saga, in the jerk saga. I was kind of intentionally leaving those because it lets me stay a little bit more mobile. And I can get back into heavy weights a little too quick because of my prior training history.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll tear it off the bone, but that's exactly when you strain a pec.
Yeah.
So that was the big project for week 1, was coming in with my head on a swivel and feeling out, like really paying attention to how my body feels. How heavy do I think I can go on week 1 and have it be a good idea? And I settled on that first week was 3 plates. I did a set at 3 plates and it moved well. And I was like, ooh, alarm bells are going off in my head. I think any more would be dumb as fuck. And I would be really mad at myself if I went up and then just got a pec strain and we're off to a terrible start. So that was my my kicking off point to try to start ramping up the dips. They felt fantastic. I love dips. I forgot how much I like them because I haven't really been doing much of them for quite a while. Haven't really done much in the way of dipping since I was working on the 600 bench. We're back. They feel really good. They feel so good.
Let's go. All right, kind of on the topic of how your training is going, I've got my first topic, which was beginning of this week, I had a good session. And I was like, dang, I think this is a good week. And I think that single-handedly carried me into having a good week. The degree in which if you just like decided, like, I think I'm feeling awesome today, regardless of how you feel, it really does something for just being like, I just ignore how I'm actually feeling because I'm like, well, this is good week. So I'm probably going to have an awesome session today. I might as well go for a PR because this is good week. So yeah, boys out there, just decide it's good week.
I remember when I would do when I was doing more strength training stuff, if your warm-ups felt bad, I would be like, well, usually my top set moves better when my warm-ups are bad because then I focus more on my form. So actually my warm-ups being bad is good. That means it's going to be a good day. Then if I was feeling good, I'd be like, it's a good day.
I was warming up I hit 740 on Saturday on squat, and I was like halfway through my warm-ups, and I'm like, these are feeling bad, but thank God it's good week, so it's going to go good.
Well, me and Max, every time we do every warm-up, everybody's like, oh, that flu, how'd that feel? We're like, shit, terrible.
I've not said
Probably
that warm-up
to a
felt
fault.
awesome for fucking...
Yeah, probably to a fault, but we're always looking for all right, well, that worked great at 80%. What do I need to do for this to go well at 100%? So we're always I think being intentionally hypercritical of I was a little too far forward. That was dog shit. That was terrible. But it really weirds people out at the gym who aren't super deep into strength training, where they're that literally looked like a speed rep. Why? What do you mean it felt that felt like dog shit? And it really confuses people.
Yeah.
You know, if there was a big teller, because some people will also do that I think it's bad, is you have to have a specific for what you did bad. Because that's productive. If I go oh, my tempo was incorrect.
Yeah.
But if you're just oh, I feel like shit today, and you're constantly doing that, then you're just negative self-talking.
Yeah, self-fulfilling
But if
prophecy.
you're oh, this is the actual thing wrong with it, I feel like that's the real line between that. Oftentimes falling into being super unproductive versus potentially being a productive level of every day you're having something you're trying to fix.
Yeah, the self-talk thing, I'm really starting to appreciate how important it is because obviously I never thought about that because I don't think words.
Yep.
So everybody would think positive words. Don't think negative words. So I was never thought a negative word or a regular word in my life. I'm immune. So I didn't really realize how useful that was for my athletes. Is if you've got a running monologue in your head, consciously correct it to think not always positive things because we've all met lifters who are so positivity pilled that it gets in the way of their lifting where they can't objectively see mistakes they're making. My form's great. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll meet lifters and we're a little bit, I think, overly gruff with it. We're no, your deadlift form's bad. That's not a value judgment. If anything, it's good because that means there's a lot of room to improve your deadlift just off of technique. But they're really upset. I'm oh, I need to be better with how I communicate. But that's how if I have a bad lift, it's shit. I'm it's shit. That's not a bad thing. I don't feel bad about myself. But there are multiple lifts. My deadlift technique is poor. That's fine. I'm not butthurt about that. It just is what it is. And I want to know what it is. And some people are so positivity pilled that they rob themselves of that. But auditing your, I know you're sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, you're good.
Auditing your internal monologue, not always to be positive, but like, I feel like we've almost gotten obnoxious on the podcast because it's so, we just reference it without giving too many specifics, but good athlete mindset. Like I'll watch a sports movie and I'll be like, oh, it's so cool. They made that character just have this really good mindset. They know they're a beginner and they're not mad about it. That's cool. There's there's so many different things that I interact with people at the gym. Like, oh, what a good athlete's mindset this guy has. And the more you can self-correct towards that, the better, like, whether it's I get anxious when I'm over fatigued, I need to manually kind of correct that, right? Like that's part of what I need to do to get back on, like what would a good athlete be thinking right now? I need to audit myself back to that. Some people are overly negative and they need to audit themselves to be more positive. Some people are a little bit delusional and they need to be a little bit more self-critical, but it's always auditing back to what would a better athlete than me be thinking and what's a productive way of thinking about this. And even though there's some objective reality of like, yeah, the average person can't break a world record, but is that the most productive way for them to think about it? Or, go in the other direction. Not everybody should come into the gym thinking they're going to be Ronnie Coleman because they're going to be really, really salty when they're not. Somewhere in between those two is a really good mindset.
Yeah, the two thoughts I have on that are one, it's like the person who like is like, oh, I just suck ass. It feels like oftentimes they're just resigning themselves into that fact of like, oh yeah, like I have horrible squat form. But also the person who's just like, I have awesome squat form. Both of them, like, there's not like a spin on it. They're just like deciding a reality and then they're like, that's true, right? Whereas like the idea of being like, oh, I have bad form and I'm so excited to fix it. Like just like the most like dude who's dumb, like a 16-year-old who goes like, oh, my form is really bad, but think about how fucking awesome I'm gonna be when I fix it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're gonna do a lot better than the dude who goes like my form sucks, right? The guy being like, dude, think about this. I have like so much horsepower, and I just need to funnel that into a good lift.
You know what I like? That's a variation of this. I get it. I've been there. The guys that are proud of having bad form.
Oh.
They're like, yeah, dude, I'm just fucking all horsepower. I'm like, you're gonna be even cooler lifting.
If you were both.
If you were both. Well, they were like, yeah, I bench 3 plates, but it's not like those pussies with good form. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. And it's like, maybe you should look into doing that right, and you could do way more, and that would be even
Yeah,
cooler.
the idea that like a bad 3 plates is better than a good 4 plates.
I've got the, I get it though, because you'll see a guy who hits like a monster total, just like a big, strong guy. He's not particularly skilled at powerlifting, but he's a big guy. And he hits this total. It's like 2,100 total. And it's like, that's bad. I get it. Being able to do a low skill 2,100 total is cool. You know what's even cooler? Winning.
A high skill 24.
Exactly. So like as much as I love the low skill ultra strong guys, I still always end up thinking like, yeah, but what could you lift if you had your form a little bit better? That'd be even cooler. More weight is cooler. I'm very more weight pilled.
Well, I don't. In my mind, I'm like, it's a lack of discipline, which is lame.
A lot of the time, it isn't even a lack of discipline; it's a lack of interest, right? Because, like you said, like the good athlete. Like,
I think a lot of that is short-term gratification.
But
Like
it's
they
also,
just like short-term outcome strength training, which
Yeah.
is totally fine. But also, you don't get extra points for that. Like the idea of being like, well, my total is more impressive than yours. Where it's like, no, you just skipped the part because you don't like spending time doing technique work, which is fine.
Yeah.
You just don't get you're not winning the meet because you like have chosen to not be like.
Yeah, if that's what you
technically
like,
resistant.
that's what you like, right? Like, you know who didn't make any attempt to technique max? Alexander Nathan.
Yeah.
We love that guy.
Yeah.
Cool. He just decided that's what he wanted to do was like the close grip bench, conventional deadlift, squat. Cool. Badass. You don't get extra points though. And I think that's why we like Nate so much is he never tried to get extra credit. He's just like, yeah, this is just my technique.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just, this is my technique.
Well, it's also just like if you're someone who's just like, I just want to come grip and rep. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
You don't then going to be like, but it's actually better because I'm not trying to do the technique stuff.
But yeah, you can see it with the guys. I don't know. It's just, it's so, it's endearing because it's rare. These guys come into the gym and they're just like excited to work hard, but I'm also really excited. Like I've noticed I've been shifting forward my squats. I've been waiting for the last couple of days because it's not in my program until now to finally get to work on that. It's just like, it's like a sunshine shines on me when I hear stuff like that from like my lifters will message me. They're like, oh, I was watching this and like, why does this guy do this? I've been trying to do that a little bit. What do you think about this? I'm like, whoa, you're actually thinking about your technique outside the gym? You're going to have a good block. Kirsten's lifter just hit a 30-pound deadlift PR because he's that kind of guy where he's just like, should I be doing this? And like, good athletes are a little gung-ho sometimes. It's like, yeah, just settle down. You don't need to change anything right now. Just stay the course.
Yep.
But like, just always like, could I be doing this? Would this be a good idea? Amazing. And that's why he got way stronger really fast. And I think he's going to speed run 600. Sick.
ran a mindset note that I've had to work on like 6 months ago, right? I had sessions that were like really hard, and I kept thinking, I've got to get through this. What a fucking, I was really, really nerfing myself. Just the thought going in of like, all right, this is going to make me better, so I've got to get through this. It made the sessions, like perception-wise harder. And I remember like, I would unrack the bar, I'm like, fuck, this is heavy. And I've just got to get through this. And it's so funny because like, I would be like, the outcome is the same. I'm doing probably the same number of reps. The session is probably like, I'm probably getting the same muscle feel. I'm still like attacking the session in like a productive way. But like just that thought of over and over, like, I just have to get through this. One, maybe not excited for the sessions themselves. But two, I think was like actively hindering because like, if I'm thinking that, I'm not thinking about anything else for the most part, because I'm just like, oh, I have to get through this slog, which, one, horrible way to see what I consider like the passion of my life. Like to get off work and be like, now I've got to get through this. Like, what a miserable existence that is to like go to a corporate job and then be like, oh, now I have to, it's like, I get to do this. But also when I'm like, how do I make this go as well as possible? Or like, oh, I'm so excited, even if this squat set's going to be really, really hard, then I'm really excited for leg extensions. Or like, how do I make the squat session go as well as possible so I'm more prepared next time? Or like, because I kind of just like, my technique really hard plateaued because I wasn't thinking about like, how do I make my technique better? I was just thinking, how do I get through this? And it's like, I'm gonna have to do it either way. Just thinking that nerfs me from getting better at all.
I think about that sometimes where I'm like, all right, we have our rough split, which is, it's a split specific to guys that are more like our strength level.
Yep.
But it involves like, okay, I like to think about like, go back to when I was boxing, go back to when I was playing different sports. I was like, okay, so, you know, for you, Monday is bench practice.
Yep.
You should be jazzed on bench practice and then come in with this flexible, like there's not this just slog through it mindset, but this flexible mindset of what do I need to do at bench practice today to get better at benching?
Yeah.
Maybe I can pull back on this so I can push this harder, like come in with that idea. And really understanding like, oh, this is this practice. This is this practice. This is almost like, you know, you've got an accessory day, which is like on the truest scale, that's like kind of your S&C work. If the squat and the deadlift are the sport, then you come back in on Tuesday and you do your S&C stuff on stuff we think is helpful. And again, it's not just about slogging through the leg extensions. It's like, well, why are we doing leg extensions? How do they help our squat? That kind of thing. I'm pretty good about that, but I catch myself like deep in prep, especially like the way we do our preps. I know some people are like, you shouldn't be that run down. I don't necessarily believe you. I don't know. I'm like a 5'10" guy. I've gotten to some pretty good lifts, and I would like to keep getting better. And the strategies that I've observed to work involve training under pretty substantial amounts of fatigue. I've seen people like kind of push back on the YouTube every now and then, like, you shouldn't be this tired. I was like, I don't mean to be a dickhead. How do you know? How do you know I should feel fresh when I'm prepping for a 900 deadlift? Like, what's your sample size? Most of the guys I know that have pulled 900 are pretty fucking tired when getting ready for it. And so like there is this like ability to endure, but I think when you slip into the mindset of what I'm doing is enduring, it's worse, right? Whereas like if you can really find like, man, I know once I'm done with this prep, I'm going to look back fondly on this dig deep phase. So I should enjoy it right now. Like every time I like get a big lift done and I cut down my body weight and I'm doing like a little bit of a lighter volume phase, I feel good. And I'm like, ooh, I kind of miss every day, like waking up and be like, ooh, I have a do or die squat today. I've got a do or die set today. I need to push my limits on all my accessories to make sure I get better in time. I kind of miss that sense of direction. So when I've got that direction, I like need to make sure I make a point to enjoy it.
It's so funny because you can really expand that out to like a career perspective of like,
yuck. What a loser.
But like, I like just the idea of like, there's gonna be a day that I hit my final PR, yada yada. I'm gonna have to lose 150 pounds so I don't die at 45, right? Mm-hmm. I guarantee I'll be like, dang, I'm so excited for my fucking hips not to hurt so much during prep. And then 2 years later, I'll be like, man, I would love to be able to give it one more go, you know? I'm sure that like, even if I have like the most perfect career of all time, I just like doing this.
Yeah.
So no matter what, there's gonna be some part of me that's like, shit, bro, I miss those days that I was slogging it in the cold ass gym. Like Sam and I were training together, and we had 800 pounds on the bar, and it was just I was scared for my life that I needed it to go well. I'm sure I will miss that feeling more than anything.
Yeah.
So like, why not enjoy it now as hard as I can? Like,
do you know who Ian Valier is?
Yeah.
The bodybuilder. So he retired, and he's coming out of retirement. Like he's like, I threw in the towel too early. I just was really burnt. I just needed some time away. I thought I needed to retire, but I didn't actually need to retire. It's like I realized I probably just have like 3 more years that I think I could do this at a very high pro level.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, I miss it. I better take advantage of that 3. And so it's like I think that's like a thing is like I think you can be in that like slog grind mode for too long, and like every coach in every sport that I respect, like I would always read like sports psychology stuff. I would read stuff from coaches I like. I just like learning about the stuff. And they would always be like, athletes take a month off, doesn't go to the gym. And I'm like, pussy, I'm in the gym the same day because I'm an idiot. Right. And I also think that this is more directed to large lads than you guys, but you'll think it's interesting. I think there's a very distinct kind of guy where the gym poses this really useful thing for scratching your brain, where it almost functions as like a very low grade self-harm. And as long as you get to do that, you get to kind of numb out your brain.
That's so funny. Nina said that she feels that way about me. She was like between day and rest day, like by the next morning, she's like, you are noticeably more anxious. Like you're like less happy, and I was like, that's so funny because I don't think of like training as like this like massive source of like if I don't do it, I'm gonna feel off, like liver king.
As your brother, I view you as in the healthy region, right? Which is like, yeah, every study ever done shows exercise helps with anxiety. You fall into that category. I've got a lot of lifters that just like they need to be like. It's just kind of how they shut off their brain is they just need to be training always. And it's like this weird way of just shutting off your brain. And like, it is like a weird self-harm thing of like, I have no inherent value, or thus I need to be doing this at all times. And it's like, that's cool because those guys will do a lot of work, but they never reach as good of a result as the guy that has a healthier relationship with the work. Mm-hmm. And I say that as kind of one of the, like I'm doing 2-a-days. Like, it's like, this is how I scratch my head. And a lot of my lifters are that way. And it's like, it's so obvious when it's someone not you. When it's me, I'm like, this 2-a-day is badass. I'm just doing this because it's badass. But I see it with another lifter. I'm like, this is just a weird, like, you need to get over this being just a weird self-harm thing where you need to, like, they need to train to absolute exhaustion every session so they can't think. And it's like, that's not the best way to get better, though. And they have a hard time believing that, though, because what they like about training is that they were initially rewarded for being willing.
Like the idea of like all of your peers around you. If you're the guy who's going to your local uni gym who's like actually killing himself, you're going to be the strongest guy there pretty quickly, and then you're going to be like, well, this is the thing that makes me strong. Is the fact that I spaz and try and hurt myself.
I'm always so hesitant to say this kind of thing, though, because it's like even of our viewers, and our viewers are serious lifters for the most part, right? They're guys who take their like varying levels, but they're guys who give a shit about their. If they're listening to us yap about this stuff, they like lifting. Oh, there's not an epidemic of guys doing too much. There's not an epidemic. There is an epidemic of guys doing too much. There's not an epidemic of guys training too hard. Like, I don't see guys doing a brutal hour, going home and eating. I don't see an epidemic of guys doing that.
That's fair. Yeah.
So on this tangent, I think this is a good segment. We like the mindset stuff. It's like what we talk about a lot of the time. Kirsten, what have you been working on in terms of like, you're like, I've got goals I wanted to get to as a lifter. All of us have like Dad was right about this. The mind follows the body, right? Usually it's like,
you gotta let yourself win.
You gotta let yourself win. You stop mentally, blocking yourself from winning. It has nothing to do with skill ever. It's not like the other opponent has never been better than me. I just don't allow myself to win.
I beat my dad for 2 years straight every night at ping pong, and he'd go, God damn it, I have to let myself win. I was like, I think I'm just better at ping pong than you.
You're
not like, it's not like you have a massive lead and you're choking at the end. Like,
you are tremendously better. You are way better at ping pong than Dad too. Where it's like, oh no, that is not the problem. Because I get it with golf. Because he's a good golfer, our dad, and he would be like hitting these shots in training.
Yeah.
Like with a good percentage. And he's like, I can see I am nowhere near that.
Every time I get in tournament, I keep fucking
in a tournament. And it's like, okay, I get why you're hung up on this letting yourself win thing.
Yeah.
It's not the table tennis, man. I promise. All right. So I feel like that's like a big thing is like taking an honest look at yourself. It's like, oh, like for me, I'm like, I just pathologically train. Like I'll train on my off days. I hit the bag for a while today. Like I just exercise. I love physical training in all ways, which is cool. And it brings a lot of meaning to my life and it makes my life, I love it. But if I wanted to be a guy that deadlifts 1,000, which I want to do, put it out there for me. So just like
the longest road to video. Just a multiple 100-part road to video.
And so, but you know, like I'll join the million guys that have shot called 1,000 and didn't get anywhere close. I'll join them. So
you heard it closer than half of them.
Guys be shot calling 1,000 at 700. It's crazy. Especially, dude, let me tell you, like young guys love deadlifting 500. Like one day I'm going to do 1,300. It's like, I love it. Let's focus on 550. But you have to like identify, you're like, every time I've made a push, eventually I've burnt out. Or every time I made a push, this has gotten in my way. What do you been thinking? Like, you're like, I need to change this about how I think to get to my goals.
So we've been talking about this a little bit of I have a really hard time getting in the mindset to train. But once I'm training, I love training. But I'm not like, I have a hard time switching my brain into thinking about training during the day because I'm always like, have a running list of the things that I need to do before I can train. So I'm always like, this, and this need to get done. Then I can go into training mode. But I think it would behoove me to think about training all the time. So I'm trying to shift into that kind of figure out a way to obviously still get my stuff done, but think about training and other times other than during training. And I think about training after training. I need to have my stuff done first. So I think I need to figure out how to be thinking about training more often.
Yeah. You know what has been my recent thing on that? Because at my corporate job, I was wage maxing and trying a little too hard. And I was like, man, it's bad that I'm not thinking about lifting as much as I should. So to get back into like building habits that like make my life more oriented around lifting, I've been doing the thing that I used to do when I was a machine operator. And I would just set up a timer on my phone. And every hour, I'll get up and just do like truly 45 seconds of stretching to 2 minutes, depending on how stiff I am. And just for that little bit, I'll be like, man, what do I have today? Like, I'm pretty excited about bench pressing. And then I'll go back to work and I just zone back in. And just like having those like interspersed little bits of being like, yeah, so I've got 5-plate bench today. I'm really excited about that. I've never done a good 5-plate bench or whatever. So that's just like keeping that like a little tally in my head, because then I go right back into work mode. I don't need to think about it anymore, right? But just having those little instances where like stretching that often probably is good. It honestly makes me feel like I'm more clear-headed for doing paperwork. But then like I have an active incentive to stop, be like, cool, I'm gonna stretch really fast. Why am I doing this? Because I want to have my session go well today.
Yeah, Sam and I have been kind of talking about me putting cardio more interspersed through my day instead of just trying to do a chunk. So like after each meal. So I think that would be a good place to put it, maybe, is like if I'm going to do like a 10-minute walk, that's time to be thinking about training and then go back into work mode. I think that's a good idea.
When I'm doing work, I have the horrible habit of being like, I'm just going to get all of this done so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. And it's so bad. So it's like, I won't drink water. I won't like stretch at all. Because I'm like, if I just sit down and work like really hard for 4 hours, I'll have all of it done. Yeah. And then I end up being like, oh God, I'm like brain fried. And it's like, I could have just done all of that work in 7.5 hours, which I have to be here no matter what for. I could just spend that time doing that and get up every 45 minutes. like get up and stretch. Take a walk around the production area. Like I don't need to get it all done as fast as possible. Like, because I don't like changing courses. Because like when I'm in work mode, I like doing work, and when I'm not in work mode, I like not doing work. But then I'm like, oh, I just need to break that up every so often.
Yeah. My training's been going like really, really well recently. Which is like, I'm like one of the things, I got to cut myself off and not overdo it so I can keep that momentum going.
Yep.
One of my clients messaged me, like I heard Kirsten say it on there. I've stopped overshooting my volume benches because it works great for a couple of weeks and you get better results, but then you can't sustain that without a deload. So your block momentum is ruined. And he was like, I'm starting to get it, because he was always like, you know, like everybody we coach is like, well, why not just take all 4 of those sets to a 10 if my technique is good? You know, at first everybody says, why not take them to a 10? And we're like, you're drilling bad habits. I'm like, okay, I get it. But why not do as many as I can with good tech? There's a time and a place, but it's because you can't sustain the momentum for long enough. That's the long story short. And so I'm like trying to audit myself on that, because I definitely have that habit of just overdoing it, needing to pull back, overdoing it, needing to pull back. And that's been a big one for me, is trying to catch myself doing that. But I've been doing a lot of bodybuilding work recently. And that's a big one for me, is like thinking about the session before the session. What can I do that would make me slightly better? Hydrate. If I'm not thinking about the session, I might not hydrate. Massive difference. I cannot tell you how big of a difference that makes. Every one of my clients reports back that it makes a big difference. And then there's always someone like, where's the evidence for that? Or like there is, you know, there's no formal evidence for a specific water intake, right? And that's something people throw out there. It's like, you drink a gallon of water, that's silly. There's nothing that says you should drink a gallon of water. You should just drink when you're thirsty. Most of us have jobs. Most of us focus on things, and I forget to drink. Fucking drink water. What the fuck are we arguing against drinking water? Me and Max have been like a little bit wound up about this, is people arguing against stretching and drinking water. I'm getting tired of this shit. I'm getting tired of giving diplomatic, scientific answers. fucking stretch and drink water. I don't see people that are too flexible for their squat. Stretch and drink water, guys. And so it's like, if I'm thinking about my lift, I'm like, what can I do that will make me feel good? If you eat pretty normally, the training session will go all right. Maybe your bloat max up for like a big squat or bench press. But for the most, if you're a skinny guy, maybe you push your food a little extra. But if you're not like a naturally skinny guy, just eat your food. Makes sense. Drink your water.
Also,
but then,
bloat max the night before. I'm really big on that.
Oh, not
It
big.
matters way more, in my opinion. Like, I think eating a big dinner, as long as it doesn't mess up my digestion, way more productive for the next day.
yeah, I could. I would say that in my opinion, coach perspective, that's very individual. Where
interesting.
you put the high calories. Some guys respond really well to night before, especially when they're cutting. And it's like, oh, I've got a big, they'll take their cheat meal the night before their big session. Some guys go morning of and they feel better that way. And some guys, they feel fueled enough for training. So the bigger density meal actually goes after their most difficult training session. Mm-hmm. If you're a fat guy, don't do this. Every guy I coach is a super is like, so where do I put my cheat? Motherfucker, every meal, I know your diet. Every meal's a cheat meal. Get the fuck out of it. You just want like a sanction for pigging out. Don't do that. You don't need to. You got your calories all over. Like, there's a time and a place to like overfuel, like really, really make sure your glycogen fills. Like I get that lifting isn't that glycogen demanding, but like really come in topped out. But I think it's that one's pretty individual. At least that's been my observation, right? Like I do after. I will push I take it back. For bench, when I was being a big fat boy for bench pressing, I would come in as carb filled as possible. But for lower days recently, now that I'm working on my squat, it's after. I feel like it makes a massive difference in my ability to come back down to a recovery mode. Mm-hmm. And I sleep better if I have a cheat meal after a big lower. Like if I have a lower day where I trash my body, like squats, deadlifts, leg presses, big day, really neurally heavy. It took me 2.5, 3 hours. I need to have a cheat meal. That seems to be like a thing for me, and I don't put on weight very easy, so that makes perfect sense. But I don't know. I've been really selling, not just thinking about like, okay, well, tomorrow I've got dips. Here's an example. I was thinking about dips today, and I was like, what can I do to get ready? Hydrate well, but I also felt like doing arm swings. I'm like, my pecs are a little tight. Just through the day, 5 times, I did 5 sets of 20 on arm swings. I didn't do 5 sets every time, but I did it 1 set of 20, 5 times through the day. My pecs are feeling better, and I feel more confident coming into that lift. You hang out at the bottom of your squat and like do a bunch of bouncing reps of squats. Whatever you feel like, stay in tune with your body, stay moving in your body. Don't just live in your mind, live in your body, right? I think that's important. But also get jazzed on if you think of this as bench practice, this is a bodybuilding day. That's my S&C as a power lifter is bodybuilding work and also conditioning. Get jazzed on it. Watch like a chest motivation day. Different guys that like watch a lifter you look up to, but get jazzed on the idea of the day before the day. And that's always, sometimes it's tough, right? Like I'm not gonna lie, sometimes sessions aren't the coolest thing in the world. Like if I send someone in and it's like tertiary bench and something, it's like, ooh, this isn't the most badass session. It's easy to get like, go watch Thor deadlift or something and get like, you've got big deadlift. You can get jazzed on the ethos of a big deadlift day, easy. But get jazzed on the accessory day. Get jazzed on the conditioning day. That's the one that was tough for me, was I had to really start building myself into like thinking about what the conditioning is going to do for me as an athlete, what the conditioning is going to do for me as a physical package. And I started being able to get jazzed on doing it. Learning to get jazzed on different strongman events is the only way I got good at them. I started out and I was kind of mid at yoke. I'm a decent yoke runner now. I beat some guys who won OSG in the past on a yoke at 1,000. That's a heavy yoke. It started with beating myself over the head with thinking yoke is cool.
Yeah.
And like the session, and so I'm like the dips. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I love dips. I love doing them, but I don't think heavy dips are the coolest thing ever. So, but I'm gonna change that because that's gonna let me give more effort. But like, what little physical things can I do to get ready? What mental things what can I watch to get sold on the idea? And like Kirsten's getting better at that because she trains really well. She thinks about training afterward and what she can do different next time. But that pre-workout mental side is, I would say, a big weakness, where almost you have like a anxiety block that gets in the way. And it's like, if you could smooth that ramp into the session, and also like, sometimes hang out in your car, wait for yourself to be ready, like watch a video, walk into the gym in a better mind space. That's a good habit.
Yeah, because I always eat before I go train, obviously. So like just when I about halfway through my last meal before I lift, I'll always just be like, what am I doing today? And then I'll think about it and I'll like sometimes put on like just a random Martin Fitzwater session if it's like a hypertrophy session, or like just Ray Williams world class for the 100 mil. I have all the views on that YouTube video. No one else has ever watched that video.
I was just gonna say, it's funny, the water thing, it reminded me of, that's one of my problems with not thinking about training until later in the day, is I like have my number of water units that I need to drink before I train, and then I may have done like a third of that so far, and then it's like an hour before training, and then I'm like chugging a bunch of water, because I'm like, I need to have this much water, and then I have to pee like 5 times during the session.
Do you keep water on your desk?
Yeah, I have like 6 waters on my desk, and then I don't drink them.
She has tried the strategy. Kirsten, at any given time, has 4 to 6 quarter drinking waters sitting on her desk.
That's so funny because like the huge thing for me is I need to make it like really readily available, because then every time I look, I take a sip, and I think that does me all that I need. Like I'm never dehydrated.
I think that's partially because you're like a less high-strung person. So like the completely forgetting to drink thing is like, unless you're locked in on something that doesn't happen, like you're like, oh, I feel slightly thirsty, let me drink.
Yeah.
I just don't notice until I'm like bad. So I just like I've got intervals through the day. The first thing I do in the morning is I drink a liter of water. And then I eat breakfast. And then I have a checklist of I need to drink another liter between meal 1 and meal 2. That's part of the diet.
Oh shit, dude, my beef and rice is so dry. I need to drink a shitload to get it down.
Dude, I've been telling you, you don't, because you think soup isn't a real food. Max hates soup. This is a weird lore for you guys.
This is a very unpopular take.
Yes, Max hates soup. He thinks it sucks. He's the biggest soup hater on earth, and I don't know why. And he won't pour bone broth or chicken stock on his Monster Mash meals.
It's so easy to eat.
And he's like, it makes it soup. That sucks. No wonder that guy asked if you were gay in the comments.
This guy wears sweaters and doesn't like soup. A hearty soup.
I have my topic that I brought for today.
Boom.
I was watching a Chloe Pickford video. She's an IFBB Pro Wellness lady. And she was talking about split squats and how she has both. Obviously, she's a wellness lady. She does blah, 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 a lot of glute volume. She does a quad-focused split squat day and a glute-focused split squat day at different points in her week. And one of them is on the Smith machine and one of them is with dumbbells. And she was talking about how she feels like the stability is good and there's benefits to it, but she also really likes having the dumbbells in her program because she feels like it's easier to control and sit into the muscles she wants to use. Hers is, she has an opposite preference to me, is I would prefer to I really like doing dumbbell split squats because I can really sit back.
No, she said she liked the dumbbell too.
She said she liked them, but she does those on her quad day.
Oh, I understand.
Which I like the opposite. Anyway, I like those because I really feel like I can sit back. But if you do them from quads, then you can really scoot yourself forward and have your knee go over your toe.
So you could tell me what you think about this, right? This is like an argument of right now, very in vogue to talk about stability.
Yep.
Right? Higher threshold motor unit. We can get more reps with slowing. It's those reps with the slowing that seem to be the more important ones. Yada, 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 right? Stuff you're familiar with. But the big thing is most of the time when you get extreme stability, you also lose some ability to position yourself or move in specific ways. That comes with the stability.
That is such a funny thing because I had almost this identical thought on Wednesday when I was doing my behind the neck Smith press, where it was like, the Smith machine is so good for a lot of things, right? But I was like, it's really annoying is that I keep finding week to week, my ability to get into a really nice stretch on those is kind of luck based on whether I can get the bench perfectly lined up because I need to get it the exact right distance away from me.
It's also more mobility than you're thinking. I had this realization a couple of weeks ago where partially it's if we can get that bench positioned perfectly to be this nice stretch, but part of it is your ability to kind of pull out. If you're kind of tight in the pecs from earlier in that week benching, I've started supersetting my behind the neck presses with a little bit more mobility for my lats and my pecs, and it's made it more consistent that I'm able to find that really, really nice path, that really nice positioning. Because I thought it was all I fucked up the settings today. And then I remembered when I squat, if I don't do my mobility, it feels like a back exercise, which is crazy because of how upright my squat is. But it feels like a spine exercise if I don't do my mobility. And if I spend 10 minutes stretching out before I squat, it feels like a leg exercise. And I'm like, oh, the ability to position your body in space informs what muscles you can tension. And I always thought that was mostly for the lower body. It's flexibility is really mostly for the lower body. I'm big enough now that I think I'm it's starting to matter. And so I spent a while stretching out before the upper day, and I was I could pull my elbows out a little bit more, and it felt fantastic. So just if you're missing it and you're fiddle with the bench, could also be a mobility thing.
I've been doing head through hangs to warm up for those, but I'm sure there is an ability to open up where oh shoot, I hit really hard dumbbell pec flies before suddenly I'm worse at it. But the stability thing, I have noticed it's sometimes I am sacrificing some amount of like positional consistency, because if it is a free weight, I can kind of control where I'm putting it. Same thing with like my JM press. That's something that's not super mobility dependent. I would sometimes hit a set and be like, that is one of the most productive sets I've ever done, because I was in a completely stable environment and could push just with my triceps to an actual 10. And sometimes I'd be like, damn, I feel like I was a little bit too here. Whereas with a bar, I'm able to like adjust mid-set to like where I'm bringing it. Whereas obviously the Smith machine, the bar path is locked. I'm kind of like, well, I'm 5 reps in. I'm not going to restart this because I'm in a fucking shitty position. Damn, this set's just not going to be quite as productive as I hoped it would be.
Yeah, and Sam and I were also talking about, let me know what you think about this. Having access to higher quality machines might make people, like the people who are really touting stability maybe at higher levels might be in gyms with really good machines. I feel like if you have a really shit machine with a bad strength curve and you're like, I'd rather do, if it's a bad chest press or something, and you're like not getting a good stretch, you're like, man, I'd rather do a dumbbell bench, but stability is more important. It's like, I would say no.
You know, it's so funny. I have seen quite a few guys being like, oh, you guys say like, you'll need this optimal thing. Here's an alternative at Planet Fitness, right? I don't see you fucking doing that. You did it for this video.
Some of the guys do it though. There's a couple. TLF does be doing workouts at Planet Fitness all the time.
Yeah, I like that's one of those ones of like, I think that is a very fair point of like the ability of like stability is everything, right? On a really good machine, fuck yeah, dude. Like
that's kind of where I feel. I'm like, not much beats, not much from a pure hypertrophy perspective. I get it. Not much beats a really good machine that fits your body well, because it might be a good machine, but you might be built goofy.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'm built a little. My torso's real long. Some things feel really weird to me.
Yeah,
but like, assuming you're not built real goofy. If it's a good machine that positions you really well, it's got a great strength curve, it just like puts your muscles in great, like it lines really well. Not much beats that from a hypertrophy perspective. But I will take the free weight where I can position myself in that good position over a bad machine or a machine with a shit strength curve all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Because we were talking, me and Chris had a good talk in the car about this, where it's like, if I was doing a split squat for glutes, right? Sure, the Smith machine is more stable, which meant to me, it lets me lift a little bit more weight, or it lets me get a couple more reps. I feel like once you're a very advanced, skilled lifter, you're not losing too many reps to stability on a split squat, right? Let's say it's 1 or 2.
Yep.
But I've locked in my positions. I would rather be able to position myself in a spot that I feel the glute is doing a lot more work, really take that center line. If you're, I don't know, most 99.4% of you guys are dudes. If you're trying to grow your ass, if you take your center of your chest and drop it towards that knee, so we lean forward, we create a big angle at the hip. Don't try to stay upright. Lean over that front knee, but take the center line to the knee, so your knee's actually coming slightly across your body. Bigger stretch on the glutes, really good. I would trade 2 reps away every set for that improvement in positioning and feel, in exchange for, like, I would trade that every time, and I think the result would be better. That's just my opinion. But why we were watching this on the way to the gym, because Kirsten was getting fired up for our leg day, and I was like, I think that's a fantastic take. You know, I think stability is awesome, but shitty machines suck.
It's so funny because like the idea of like, chest supported row is better than a Pendlay or a Yates or any barbell row, or no, it's actually building real man strength, right? Yep. It's so funny because I did Yates rows forever because I really didn't like our chest supported row.
Yep.
Then we got a good chest supported row, and I was like, this is way better. Which one is better? It depends on what machine I had access to, because when I had
the old one, it was useless.
I was
you were
like,
getting shit out of it.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this does not seem like it's correlated to my deadlift at all, and it feels like it just hurts my sternum, and I'm not like, no part of my upper back seems to be growing. So we did Yates rows, and I was like, wow, this is super productive. Then we got a much nicer chest supported row, and I was like, oh, this is better than that one. So it's like chest supported row, over, under, where like the tier list to be like, which exercise is better? It's like so machine dependent. And also being like, oh, a barbell row is way worse than a fucking chest supported row. There are some chest supported rows that I would put as a Z tier exercise because it fucking like it hurts me.
Yeah, when I and there's some dependence from person to person there. It could be a skill thing. People like...
Well, some people at our gym really like the chest supported row. Like, they don't like the new one, which I think is incredible, and they like the old one. Clearly, there's some difference there in which they're like, oh, I can feel it way better. I think that's fucking crazy, but also I think part of that is like the pad is pretty narrow, so if you're doing a lot of weight, it felt like it was going to cave my fucking chest in.
Right? Or if someone was more narrow than you are, maybe that was like plenty of support.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's like, I don't know. There's a good bit of individual variability. I think a lot of the time it's skills, not like my body's different than your body. We all got the same bones, man. We got the same muscles. But For example, I love the new chest support row. It's the Texas Strength one.
Yep.
I like it quite a bit. It's the first chest supported row. Like I've had an even worse time with chest supported rows than you have.
Yep.
I felt like they did jack shit for me, and I tried lots of different things. I got a little bit better results when I started taking them into the weeds and using the chest support more. But I felt like they would just get pummeled by a low cable row. Probably because I'm better at low cable rows, but like I just always even to this day, I would actually rather do if my low back's got the energy. I feel like I get way better results from a low cable row even than that one, right? So there's still some individual variability. So as much as we can talk online about, oh, the machine is better, if the machine isn't doing anything and you've done it for a few months and you've progressed it, my back has not gotten any stronger or bigger, okay, who cares what people say criteria based? Go fucking try a different exercise. Like Kirsten just pulled the plug. We've been doing back day together because we both want to build up our back. Because that's a weaker part of my body. It'll help my strong man. Like everybody agrees having a strong back is good.
Yep.
And so we've been doing a back day, just trying to get strong on a variety of movements. And Kirsten was like, I'm pulling the plug on this row, man. We were trying to do a seat real low, high pull. So upper back dominant row. We worked it. We worked on the form. We watched each other. And like, I felt like we were doing everything really well on paper. But I was like, Kirsten was like, can we switch that? And I was like, yeah, that shit sucks, actually. I hate pulling the plug too early because you had to do pendlay rows for a while before you figured them out. And then they were great. They were killer. And I was like, you're right. We've tried this for long enough. And we switched it to a different machine. And I think we're going to do a free row at some point here soon because Kirsten just hasn't done many of them. And I think there's some novelty gains to be had there. But yeah. There you go.
You talked about last time. It's very funny the idea of being like, oh, this is like the logical choice, but also at a certain point you just have to like accept like, what is my training telling me? You know, like I can be like, this is the objective, the more stable and better exercise.
Make all your decisions. Your training tells you the answers. If you're wondering what to do with your life, look into your training. If you're wondering why your wife is being mean to you, look into your training. Has the answer to every question. But be like, what do I do with my diet? Look at your training. Are you winded all the time and a lard ass? Eat less. If you feel underfueled and you're skinny and unstable, eat more. The answer to most of the questions, everybody messages me. They're like, Sam, should I do this? Ask your training. That guy knows.
Carson, final thoughts.
Let's go. You got one more thing.
My final thought is that I think I'll probably have to figure out. We have the prime stack-loaded chest press at our gym.
Incline.
Incline chest press. And I think part of it is that because being like a woman that's like shorter, shallower, I don't get a good stretch on. I have to put a pad behind me.
Yeah.
And that has like full stop prevented me from ever trying to learn how to use that machine. But I also learned how to train my pecs with free weights. So I'm so free weight pilled on my pecs. So I'm like, I hate being stuck in that incline machine where I'm like bringing it down and I'm like, no, I want it to be like a centimeter lower. But I think that's something that I'll take time to learn how to use at some point because Sam has vouched for that machine being good. Have you used it?
Too light.
Oh yeah,
Oh, fair.
It's a good machine, and like it's got like the standard prime thing where you can vary the resistance profile, and if you get your positions right, it's great, right? It's a good machine, but it only goes to like 315. And me and Max, like we would run the machine for like 2 weeks and be like, okay, you can. We've done it.
I couldn't do that for 20, so technically I could get effective use out of it. Don't really want to.
Exactly. We've run machines where it's like we got to the stack fast and it's just like higher and higher reps at stack. You know, like sometimes you can gym pin it, sometimes you can't. But that's off-putting for me, like same as Max. Like usually if we can top out a machine, we just try to find something else, like a free weight thing or a plate loaded. I don't love slapping a bunch of extra weight on a stack because I feel like I'm going to fucking break the cable. And
which we've
then
done.
everybody's, we've done that. And people get mad at us and it's not cool. And like in the gym, I'll gym pin. I'll be like, oh no, I broke the cable. Shit. But like in general, I'm like, me and Max just be like, if it's something that's important, like you'd agree, right? Like if you topped out a machine, but you're like, this machine feels like when this is in my program, I feel my back on my bench the way I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
There are exercises, like that's the difference between just bodybuilding and doing bodybuilding to supplement your powerlifting is sometimes this is just this exercise that when it's in the program, deadlifts feel better. That's a fucking good enough reason for me. The kettlebell swing, on paper, not the best glute exercise. But when it's in the program, me and Max and deadlift look less shit. Good exercise.
Thanks for watching, boys. Tune in next time.